Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more licking doggos. My name's the Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops!
Hi!
What's going on with the doggo?
She's all brushed it and bathed it.
So pretty.
She is so pretty.
I shaved it too. That's why you can see her eyeballs right now, otherwise you wouldn't even be able to see her eyeballs. And she's got cute toes, and you wouldn't be able to see these paws if we didn't have some shaving.
She's got so much furs.
So many. Oh my goodness, you see that snare? She's going to kill me one of these days. She's a vicious beast. All right. I'm the chew toy, and she's the love doll, so she gets everything she wants, that dog. All right. You know who else gets everything he wants?
Who?
Florian. He gets more than what he wants, I think.
All right. So, chapter 13, helping can be dangerous.
Not for a hat.
Wow. You got it on cue, but then you couldn't breathe. You need to work on that.
See that snoot? It's just the most boopable thing. I can't help it.
All right. I need you to fix the... I can't read it very well. Can you fix that?
Oh, go zoom in a little more.
Yeah, zoom. Whoa.
It's okay. I'm gonna have to adjust it. Is that big enough?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not done yet.
I have my crackers over there. She wants to steal my crackers. You cannot steal my crackers.
If she stays up there the whole time, she gets a cracker, though. That's for sure.
She will get a cracker if she stays here the whole time.
Gotta stay there the whole time, there, Bogans.
She'll still get a cracker in.
Come on. Get us points on the internet. We like internet points. And you're good at generating everything. Especially smiles.
All right. Florian took the time to...
Sorry. The mouse wheel can be a little...
bad-hooded.
Feisty at times.
Florian took the time to fill them in on the mission and customs needed to infiltrate the gang in a place in Kentucky selling medicinal plants. None of it made any sense, but Florian was as good a teacher as he was an agent for the divine arcane. Either that, or a mad old fool with access to blind random luck. He lived his life pulling on arcane muscles. Others would never take the chance with. The car pulled into a dark space between two enormous buildings. After a moment, it opened up to a wider space. Doors littered the structure's flat gray walls. There were little lights above each one except the one that stopped in front of them. Except for the one that stopped in front of them?
Yeah, so the scene is they're pulling up between two enormous buildings, claiming an alleyway, right? Mm-hmm. And then after it just opens up to a wider space. Mm-hmm. And there's doors littering this flat gray wall. So you see what I'm pulling at. They're pulling up behind another building. So they went between two to get behind a building. And
but how did the lights stop in front of them?
There were little lights above each one.
Mm-hmm. Except the one that they stopped in front of.
That should say on. It's like each one of them had lights, but only one of them was on, and it's the one they were stopping for. I did not say that right. Yeah, I did not say that right. I see it now.
Okay. Their own lights turned off, and Florian removed the piece of metal, ending the low, constant roar. May would have loved this, Frick muttered as they got out of the car.
Because she's a blacksmith.
She
likes working with metals. It doesn't really come up a lot here, though.
Yeah. They understood their part. Rebels trying to do what they think is right. The other side is a power-hungry organization seemingly built to absorb the little ventures of the previous host. Okay, hold on. I gotta slow down. I got distracted petting the puppy. Oh. May would have loved this, Frick muttered as they got out of the car. They understood their part. Rebels trying to do what they think is right. The other side is a power-hungry organization, seemingly built to absorb the little ventures of the previous hosts of their bodies. All of it was irrelevant to the true mission. They were creating a drug that tapped into power that they should not have. All they needed to do was destroy it, a single plant, leafy green, and random shifts in its makeup by nature has given it a divine muscle. Oh, wow.
So the plant has a muscle.
Mm-hmm. and it pulls on it to replicate itself.
So if it can replicate itself,
yeah,
and it pulls on that muscle, then the next one can also pull on the muscle.
We
and
need
then
to
those both can pull on the muscle and it'll exponentially load up.
So far, I think we need to come back to this entire paragraph. It has not matured yet to the point where it can do it, but if it does, it will consume the planet in a few days. In a couple of years, their entire universe will consist only of this matter. Zek, as she was known here, walked around the car. She's with you, Paul, the name fumbled out of her mouth, seeing all of it through me. Yes, and we're all happy that May is here, but we only have moments. Once we get in, the ladies will want to steal you away and talk. Frick, or rather Paul, will enter with me. We get to the plant, destroy it. This is all.
That's what's going on.
Okay.
It's probably that grammar fixing thing.
This will all be over, then back at the tavern like the old days. That whole sentence is bad. Mal opened the door. It was a long hallway. 2 people stood at the entrance at the end of the dimly lit hallway. The woman turned around and screeched excitedly, Zeki! Zeki! I can't handle the Zeki. I would be irritated being called Zeki. She came running over to her, grabbing her hand. I just came to give Johnny his lunch. Come, hurry. Sarah? Shara.
It's an SH.
Mm-hmm. Shara says she has some good news. Oh no. She grabbed her hand and she was whisked away. She was wearing a beautiful layered dress that bounced as they walked. Her voice was as loud as it was shrill. Apparently that's how they did it here, because the instant she was introduced to the cacophony of the noise, she got a splitting headache.
Yeah, she went into the other room.
Well,
I didn't say that. That's what's missing.
Mm.
So we'll put it, I think it goes right here, quite frankly.
She found a comfortable seat. And don't tell me you wouldn't. It's like nails on a chalkboard, she muttered quietly to herself. Yeah.
Are you seeing that those are the 2 that are connected? That she's got a splitting headache, and so she says, "Don't tell me." Like you wouldn't if you were here.
Oh, I keep forgetting the narrator is talking.
Yeah, that is going to happen, isn't it? That's kind of the problem, because the narrator usually isn't talked to by the people, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah. One of the ladies heard her. What was that, Zeki? The one who brought her here asked. I was admiring your dress. I like the way it bounces when you walk. It's really quite stylish, Zeka said, repeating the earlier observation.
Of a hat.
Oh.
I bet anything that the thing got rid of it, because that doesn't even make sense. The observations of a hat. What does that mean? Nowhere in this sentence ever has that been said.
I like your hat, she said, snatching it off her head and intending to place it on her own. As soon as Zeka put the hat back on...
Are you going to just stop there?
Intending to place it on her own.
Yeah.
And then we jump to as soon as Zeka put the hat back on.
Because Zeka didn't hear anything. It was snatched off her head, and so it couldn't hear anything until the hat got put back on her head. I can understand your confusion, and I wasn't really sure what to do. But I think what we could be, I have an idea now. So I'll just leave a little red mark right here that you can barely see, and maybe we'll get back to it.
Well, you could have done it on the end of own. There you go. As soon as Zeka put the hat back on, it was clear that the narrator in the hat was quiet while on the stranger's head. She was relieved. Where did you get it? Paul gave it to me, she said quietly. Aw, you 2 are so sweet, she said affectionately. The other 2 ladies had finished their discussion when her companion asked, So, Shara, So, Shara, do you have news? She nodded excitedly. The 2 other got whatever hint she was trying to convey because the other 2 interrupted in a loud scream. You're getting... That was a bad time for a burp. You're getting married? Zeka winced at the noise as they all jumped up and down, screaming around her. She definitely drew the short straw on this mission. A loud crash came from the distance, and moments later, Frick and Melgasta Florian shot through the door The lady's shock sent them rapidly out of the room, and they took a seat with her at the table. Took you too long enough, she said, as everything around her became the familiar tavern they left in their own world. They were back in their world. Yeah. Well, I thought Paul was a better actor than I was giving him credit. Don't blame this on me, old man. If you hadn't threatened him with the wrath of all that is good, then maybe he would have trusted me. They both broke out into a fit of laughter. Reminded by the voice in her head, she put them back on track by handing the black pointed hat to Frick. He took the hat and put it on, saying, "Let's get this over with." And it looked rather silly.
It's rather clever, right? It reminds me of the scene in the Belgariad when they're was arriving at Issus, and Silk and Belgarath come out from their journey, and they're talking about a tree falling on Belgarath or something. It was really silly, and that's kind of what I did here.
No, this one's silly. This one's silly. Okay. So we want to start at the bottom, go top.
Yeah.
Let's get this over with.
I wanted to add something about...
Yeah.
I wanted to add something about... I want my wife back.
Okay. Make sure I'm on the right screen. Make sure I have the right cursor.
Just right there in between. Oh, you can't do this.
Yeah. But he already has his wife back. Oh, he wants his wife back physically, not just auditorially. Tick-tack, 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 tick-tack. I want to hold my wife again. Nice. Nice touch.
You put this witch's hat back on. Let's go find my wife again. All right. So, is there something else I was going to say?
Okay, so you have that became, as she said, as everything around her became the familiar tavern they left in their own world. They were back in their own world.
I could just say they were back.
Yeah.
And then that's what it was. Who said that?
Malgast.
We know that. Does it need to be said Malgast, Florian? Griped?
No. Well, I thought Paul was a better actor than I was giving him credit.
If you hadn't threatened them with the wrath of all that is good.
Trusted me. Yeah, you don't need to denote who says what, because he's saying Paul. And then the next line is, "Don't blame this on me, old man." So good. You don't even have to say they were back. Just get rid of that.
I think I like the idea of that. It frames it.
Okay. They took a seat with her at the table. Took you too long enough. Oh. And the boys took a seat at the table. Or the guys, or the whatever.
Not really sure what I did there just then. Okay.
Yeah, you did. Because I was thinking maybe the ladies took a seat with her at the table. Even though they ran out of the room, that's who you were just talking about in the sentence. In that sentence earlier. No, that doesn't... You didn't have to delete that.
I know I didn't have to. I wanted to. The lady's shock sent them rapidly out of the room.
And they took a seat next. So that should be the guys. The guys took a seat next to Zeka.
That sounds better all over. Like the next to Zeka, it really adds to it, I think, too. And this, I think I just need to get rid of the do. So, Shara, you have news?
Yeah. She nodded excitedly, and the other two got whatever hint she was trying to convey because the other two interrupted into a loud scream. That sentence is a little messy. And the other ladies got whatever hint she was trying to convey because they interrupted in a loud scream.
They erupted.
Yeah. Erupted in a loud scream. Okay, that's a lot better. That's not how you spell piercing.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell. I'm a writer. I don't know how to spell. I know how to write.
Oh, you two are so sweet, she said affectionately. The other two ladies had finished their discussion when her companion asked.
I was going to change said to cood.
Ooh, yeah. That's much better.
Because I said she said quietly, and then she said affectionately, and it hit my ear funny. So, the idea here is that
it's almost like the stars. When you put the 3 stars in the middle of the page.
Kind of, except for there's no real... It's just she just kept quiet for a second. She just didn't narrate for a second.
So what about the little squiggle, the little accent mark that you would put over the end? Just do that.
Just... Oh, that's not right.
That's not the one I want.
I need the tilde.
Yeah, the tilde. But like center it a little better.
That denotes a passage of time.
Yeah, and there is a passage of time.
It's fractions of a second.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like she would wear it, look in the mirror a little bit, and then return it to Zeka. So it's not just a few seconds. It's maybe 5 minutes. Because while on the stranger's head. So there's got to be some kind of passage of time there.
But how much time has passed? But passage of time would denote, or distance even, would denote a larger amount than a couple seconds on a hat on a head of someone for a couple of seconds.
Here's how I see it. You want to tell the reader that time is passing a little bit, that there's just not this big jump. So how would you mark that bit of passage of time?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I would not denote this as a passage of time. But rather not even that, but rather just a simple pause in the narration. That's all.
Right, but reading these sentences, if you put that there, that little passage of time that I'm seeing, the 5 minutes or whatever it is, the reader's going to understand this is pretty instantaneous. But you want to tell the reader that it's on purpose. This is on purpose.
This is what you do when there's a small amount of time passing between the two things.
Okay.
I don't know that it works in the second scenario. Right? You see what I'm getting at. That's a small passage of time. That's a brief moment where things aren't happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually found within speaking, not within action.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pause between the sentences. So you have ... what happened during the pause, and then the ... continue. Okay. We will leave it like that.
I'm going to do some Googling while you keep bringing up the other, being the earlier observation. I'm still here.
Of a hat. That's what it was. Well, take your time. You can see what you're doing.
I'm Googling, and I don't know how to spell how. I'm trying to spell wow. Boo boo. Nobody's helping me.
This is the place where I missed that they walked into a room. Right? That's what I missed.
They walked in the room. No, I just was... So this one was... The problem with this one was...
it's like this right here is
apparently that's how they did it here. Because the instant she was introduced to the cacophony of noise, why is it apparent...
Oh, no!
Why was it apparent her voice was as loud as it was?
And apparently that's how they do it here. Because when she entered the room, everyone went, ah, like her.
Right. But here's my problem with this sentence.
Oh, I understand there's problems.
Okay. You're going to let me say?
Go ahead.
Okay. Apparently that's how they did it here, because the instant she was introduced to the cacophony of noise, she got a splitting headache. Why about the splitting headache made it apparent that that's how they did it here?
Why would it be the splitting headache?
Apparently that is how they did it here, because the instant she was introduced to the cacophony of noise, she got a splitting headache.
The it isn't referring to the splitting headache, it's referring to the loud and shrill voice.
Yeah, I understand that.
So the problem is that this needs to be more like this and a period. Right here.
Yes.
That's better.
The incident, yes, that's much better. Her voice was as loud as it was shrill. Apparently, that is how they did it.
I feel like that's probably closer to how I typed it originally.
Probably.
What is the point of grammar and punctuation again? It just seems to obfuscate the point of the story and not actually like tell it.
But anyway.
That's my gripe. I get to gripe about punctuation and grammar. I'm a writer.
The instant she was introduced to the cacophony of noise, she got a splitting headache. That's so much better.
Yeah. She was wearing a beautiful layered dress.
Oh.
There.
Hold on, before we keep moving. She found a comfortable seat, and don't tell me you wouldn't. It's like nails on a chalkboard, she muttered quietly to herself. So get rid of the and.
And that makes sense. It's just another place where grammar is confused by what I'm doing. This will not go well into grammar stuff because hats don't talk. The narration isn't referred to.
Mm.
I mean, it's just this book, though. The other one, the next one, and the next one, and the next one will probably all work just fine.
Yeah. This one's a little funky.
It's just because the narrator's a character.
The characters are talking to the narrator.
And the narrator's a character.
And the narrator's a character. Which is a little funky.
Oh, stop that. Mm-hmm. So annoying.
Mel opened the door. It was a long hallway. Two people stood at the entrance.
Oh. This is probably a mixture of me typing more than I needed to.
Two people stood at the entrance at the end of the dimly lit hallway.
Mal opened the door. Two people stood at the entrance at the end.
The woman turned around and screeched excitedly, "Who's the other person?"
You know, that's... Well, there's like a bouncer kind of guy at the door. That's all.
Okay.
They freaking Mal deal with them. She comes and takes Zeki, so you don't even get to know. You see?
Yeah, I can't believe you just did that.
Zeki!
Oh, stop. I hate that. If I was Zek, I would absolutely hate that.
I wonder what she says in the next chapter.
Okay. Just keep scrolling up.
I don't know if it ever comes back, honestly.
This will all be over, then back at the tavern like the old days. This will all be over. Get rid of is.
Why is there an is?
This will.
Well, that's what it is.
All be over soon.
If it is, then it also will be. That was grammar. I don't want to pay attention to the changes they want to make. I don't care about grammar and punctuation.
Well, here's the other thing. It's the way a person's talking, and that's the one time grammar gets to be ignored. So even if it's proper the other way, this is the way he talks. This will all be over soon. Then we'll be back at the tavern like the old days. Or, because then back at the tavern like the old days does not make any sense.
Why?
Okay. But quit typing and listen to what I'm going to say. You ready? This will all be over. Then back at the tavern like the old days.
Yeah. It's dialogue too. So she, right? She's saying this?
No. This is Malgasta Florian.
That sounds more like Malgasta Florian. Yeah, because if it was Zek, I would be a little confused. She wouldn't do that, but Malgasta Florian. What is he saying?
Then back at the tavern like the old days.
Yeah.
No.
What is he saying?
I
Like,
don't-
what does that mean? Then back at the tavern like old days. What does that mean?
Back at the tavern.
Yeah, like old days.
Just back at the tavern. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what
Then
you're.
will be.
You're not answering my question.
No, because
You're just repeating yourself.
Because I'm going to read what I see here, and what I see here is not a whole lot.
It's like half a sentence. Yes.
It's like very much, not even half a sentence. It's like half a thought. This will all be over. Then back at the tavern like old days. And then we'll be back at the tavern like old days.
But this is Malgastiflorian.
That you keep repeating yourself too, my dear.
That's because that's the answer to the problem you're seeing, and you don't want to see that.
This is the way he talks, and I just accept it.
He half says things. Yes.
Okay.
Right. He's got things going on. His mind is busy.
I'm sorry.
He just half says things.
I'm sorry.
Well, the problem is you weren't answering my question.
Because I didn't understand
what is he
happening.
trying to say? What is the story telling
I can
you by saying
assume that he
There we
said
go.
this will be over soon, and we'll just be back at the tavern. It'll all reset.
it means like they've been to the tavern before. That this is like a common occurrence for them.
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
That's the idea. He's being flippant and casual. He also, I think they may have corrected my grammar in other places that made him more eloquent, and I should pay more attention to that. Because he says at one point, her bark is worse than her bite and all that. No, bark being worse than bite and all that. He isn't clear.
Okay.
That's the point of his character. And I understand the confusion, but do you understand what I'm trying to get across?
You saying him not being clear as part of his character is annoying, but that's part of his character.
So stop and answer my question.
What? I thought I did.
Not really. That's the problem here. You're hinting at something, but you're targeting the wrong thing. It's not the way it's written. It's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, what are you trying to say?
He's the leader.
Okay.
Also, he's the one in charge. He's giving out commands.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Where is this? Yes, we're all happy that May's here, but we only have moments. Once we get in, the ladies will want to steal you and take you away. Frick, or rather Paul, will enter with me. We get the plant and destroy it. This will all be over, then back at the tavern like old times. You're not including it in the context. Look at all of it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all very happy. Happy May's here.
Okay. No, it makes sense. It's good.
He's commanding, and he's not good at it because he's really just an old fool with really good luck at really good blind random luck. And that's his power. It's not that he knows what he's doing. It's that the arcane divine has blessed him with the ability to just know which muscles to pull. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He just goes with the flow. And then this is him just kind of rushing through it, going with the flow because it's Malgastiflorian and he's got other worlds to save. Because last time we saw him, he was stopping a science fiction universe from creating something that would destroy all existence.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's stopping a drug dealer in 1940s or 50s. Kentucky. Well, I wouldn't say Kentucky, but
You did
whatever.
say
America.
Kentucky.
Oh, did I say? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
whatever. 1960s Kentucky. And, I mean, I'm not trying to say that... I'm trying to say you're right. I'm just trying to figure out how to get my point across and be... You okay? That's some loud panting.
She's probably just hot.
All stressed out because I was getting all loud, huh? I'm a loud human.
No, here's the thing. It's all good. You did read the whole sentence and gave it context, and it sounded a little better.
But I think you're right.
Yes, but if that's how Mas,
I think
hold on before you change anything.
I'm hooked on being... Okay, go ahead.
If that's how Malgastiflorian talks, then it's both right.
Hold on. My thought is that instead of then, he could say, this will all be over. We'll be back at the tavern like old times.
Yeah. Okay.
Not then we will be. Because that's like too much. He wouldn't be that, what's the word?
This will all be over. We'll be back at the tavern like old times. Yeah, if you change then to
Wheel.
We'll be back at the tavern like old times.
See, we're on the right track. I'm sorry if I didn't hear that. I did want to hear that. Yes, I know I saw it.
How would you say that?
All right, let's look at this whole paragraph.
Okay, so delete the red.
What I'm going to do real quick is break it up by sentence, and we'll go by sentence. Just give me a second.
It's just the way he describes things, and I want to make sure I'm reading
it. Yeah, it is. It is frustrating. I understand. I frustrate myself sometimes. I'm going to give this last bit.
Okay, hold on. Oh, you're good with this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, lordy Lou.
They understood their part.
Rebels trying to
do what they think is right. The other side, a power-hungry organization, seemingly built to absorb all the little ventures of the previous hosts of their bodies.
Okay.
So on the other side is a power-hungry organization that's built
to absorb the
little ventures
of the previous hosts of their bodies.
Is that the thing that needs to change?
It's before you go in and change anything. It's confusing, but what it is the Frick and Zeka of this world are getting their venture taken by a bigger organization, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. You weren't done, were you?
It's a lot of words to try to process all at once, and that was my biggest problem with that line, is that there seemed to be to absorb the little ventures of smaller organizations like the one this Frick and Zeka run.
I was going to say instituted. But then you said run, and I'm like, I need to type instituted. That's a big word.
So that's the same thing you were trying to say, just
yes, they're a little more split up.
Nicer for the reader to see.
There's no Z in organize. That's originations.
That's originations. Organization. Organization.
There is a Z in organization. It's pretty game.
Yeah, but you didn't have organ.
All right, so there's two more.
Nope.
Oh, we weren't done. We weren't done
because you screwed us all up. All of this was relevant for the true mission.
No, all of it was irrelevant for their true mission.
Oh, sorry, I misread that. They were creating a drug that tapped into the power that they should not have.
That it should not have. They were creating a drug that tapped into a power it should not have. The drug.
Yes. All they needed to do was destroy it. Okay, that's good. You can take all of it and put it back on.
Okay, continue.
A single plant, leafy green. A random shift in its... A single plant, leafy green.
I don't know. I think I bet anything. I said a single leafy green plant. And the editing's like, hey, why don't you do a plant, leafy green? How about a plant? Jerks.
With a random shift. Yes,
that's what I was going to do, yeah.
Yeah. And its makeup, by nature, has given it a divine muscle. Is it by nature? The random shift in its nature.
Yes, nature did it. Nature did it.
Nature is given
it's like
a divine
it evolved.
Muscle.
The plant evolved. I want this plant because I can always duplicate it and then I'll have wheat. All right.
And it pulls on it to replicate itself. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the and it pulls on itself, pulls on it needs to be a part of the nature is given a divine muscle.
It added and a lot.
And capitalized it?
Yes, period capitalized
it. It pulls on it to replicate itself. Yes, I like that better. It has not matured yet to the point where it can do it, but if it does... nature has given it a divine muscle when it pulls on it to replicate itself. Because right now you have it... No, not that one.
I know.
Okay.
Sorry. What were you saying?
Nature has given it a divine muscle. It pulls on it to replicate itself. It feels like it can pull on it. Whoa.
That's a name. Not a, that should be capital C-A-A.
Nature has given it a divine muscle it can pull on to replicate itself. That's better. It is not matured yet to the point where it can do it, but if it does, it will consume the planet in a few days. In a couple of years, their entire universe will consist of only this plant matter. Okay. That feels a lot better. Now you can combine all that again.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right, now this one up here.
There were little lights above each one except the one that stopped in front of them.
I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this too. I'll work on what we did.
I'm not frustrated or not confused by doors littered the structure's flat gray walls.
Littered kind of implies a disorganization. That was my problem with it. I like the idea. It's evocative, but it's not honest. It's not true to the story. Doors don't get littered. They're placed. In like even spaces for the rooms behind them.
But to me, with littered, it means there's like more than 10 doors on one wall.
Yeah, that is the case. It's a really big long wall. I mean, you get the idea is that they're just pulling up to a
like a storage unit.
Like a store, or yeah, maybe a storage unit. Yeah.
But I don't see the building they walk into as a storage
unit. It is. It's not. It's more like
like the main office.
Like a big office building or something on the back end of it.
So
we're going in through the back.
So what I see when you say this is that like there's a bunch of storage units and then an office area. Is that what you're?
Not really. There is a door with like some stairs up to it in my head, and then there's another door with some stairs up to it, and then another door. It's a strip mall. The back end of a strip mall. With all those businesses, it's kind of like that.
That makes a little more sense.
And there's a light over only one of them on.
Okay, so fix that. Yeah, fix the light thing. There were little lights above each one except the one that stopped in front of them. Which the doors can't stop in front of anybody. Except for the one they stopped in front
of. Which is probably another time in which they like changed it. Okay. There we are.
Much better.
Removed a piece of metal ending the low constant roar. Okay. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
We go fast. Bye.
Bye.
It was 40 minutes. Hello and welcome to Testing Audio. Cheesy, do you have anything to say about testing audio? That's, I guess, the word today.